have the privilege and honor of inviting a scholar, an activist, an advocate who has been working for last 40 years towards preservation of indigenous cultures and indigenous traditions in various international fora and platforms. And that person is none other than a member of our board of directors, Professor Dr. Yashwant Pathak. Professor Pathak has recently edited a book on religious freedoms and spirituality with indigenous cultural perspectives. And I have this copy of the book edited by Professor Pathak. This book is available over there on display. It is there for purchase. But before we do that, I would invite Professor Pathak to say a few words about this particular book. Professor Pathak, please.
Good afternoon, and I am in between your tummy and the food. Food is ready. So, first of all, my job was made easy by my relative, which declares always Mitakwe Wayasin, Mr. Brad Chapman, and my another relative from Africa, Kofi. Because both of them pointed out a very simple thing, that African traditions are not religions, they are way of life, they are paths. Same thing Brad has said, that Native Americans is a way of life, it is not religions. And this is where we have pointed it out that this book, it's a very interesting book for all of you to look at it. That first question we raised was, why in 1948 suddenly the Western world wanted human rights? Why only it happened? After several genocides around the world, now they are talking about human rights. In 1948, before that there was no human right. You know, and one of the human right funny thing was that human right to get married, which means 60,000 years of African history in South Africa, there was no marriage. There is a problem, and this is where we wanted to work on a book which brings out the thought processes for new thinking from dharmic perspective and indigenous perspective. And I want to quote only few things. In Maori tradition from New Zealand, they have a proverb which says, I am the environment and environment is me. Now who is responsible for the environment? Me. Same thing is in African traditions. There is a beautiful article which is in the book which says there is no word like rights in African tradition. There is only responsibilities. And if you see the book on the title, there is a Sanskrit verse which says Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. This is a quotation which is like a Mahavakya from the Hindu philosophy, comes in several times in Bhagavad Gita, comes in Mahabharata, comes in Ramayana, which says for the well-being of everyone. And if I can quote Mr. Brad Chapman, all the Native Americans we use terms called bird people, plant people. They talk about everything is people, because all of us, every animal, every plant, everything has a consciousness which is existed in it, and that exists in my thing also. There are 4 Mahavakyas, most of you must have heard it. Koham, who am I? Neti, neti, not this, not this, not this. I never understand who am I. And everybody all over the world has done this search, who am I? And finally comes down to, Hindus came down to the point saying, Aham Brahmasmi, I am the consciousness which exists in me. But then they did not stop there. They said, this consciousness exists in the others also. So there is no need for genocides. Once I recognize that my consciousness and your consciousness are same, absolutely genocide is not necessary. And that is where the Bhagavad Gita goes a step ahead, and they say that a yogi, a person is a yogi when he recognizes the consciousness exists in all the animals, all the plants, everything, a creation of the God. And this is what the book wants to bring out in front of the world, that the human right with all the responsibilities is a menace to the global scenario. And that's why Sarva Bhuta Hite Rata, for the betterment of all the well-being, including plants, animals, everything, that's my responsibility. I have no rights on earth. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Pathak. This book is available for purchase. It can be purchased after paying by QR code $30. I am going to have a break for lunch.